What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick, and I want to welcome you back for another one of my album reviews. Today, we're taking a look at the newest album from Monsta X, titled The Clan Part 1, Lost. And, of course, that means that this is going to be similar to the way BTS released their The Most Beautiful Moment in Life albums in multiple parts. So there's probably going to be a part 2, definitely a part 2 that gets released closer to the end of the year, and that is very, very exciting because this one is pretty darn good, just like every other Monsta X album that they have released. The thing that Monsta X does that I really like is they just put out some really good, entertaining, and interesting music. Like, it's not boring. It definitely, and it brings a different sound in a way that you don't normally hear with all of the boy groups doing this hip hop sound or this hip hop look and sound and attitude and whatever. So that's really, really awesome. And this group specifically kind of finds that balance between the attitude in their vocals through that rap portion, and then you kind of get a little bit of emotion in there too through the actual sung vocals in it as well, which is really, really, really awesome. And I think that Monsta X as a group is one of the very few groups that has album tracks, like the tracks that are not promoting their album, that are as good, if not better, than their actual song that they're using to promote the album. And that's not particularly anything really impressive or something that we should be saying oh my god, good thing on Monsta X and whoever put the album together for doing that. But it is kind of significant because there is a lot of times a lot of groups just kind of put out something where the promotion song is the best thing that they've got, and everything is just lesser quality versions of what the promotion song is. And for Monsta X to do what they do with their albums, it's really, really awesome. There hasn't been a single song on any album that I have disliked. This one is the same. They're always their music, whatever sort of feeling and attitude and intensity level that they're bringing, they're always interesting and engaging and fun to listen to, which is also really, really awesome. And like I said, more often than not, they are themselves as an album song. They could be a promotion song in and of itself, which is also really, really awesome. And even though maybe Monsta X and their album tracks are the same genre and the same style, they're also diverse at the same time too, because they're not the same kind of song with very slight tweaks and variations to what the sound is. They are pretty obviously completely new songs. They've got new feels, they got new flows, they got new, the beats are drastically different and all of that sort of stuff. All of the different little teeny tiny aspects and big aspects that go together to make up an album or a song on an album means that, you get, when you listen to a mini album from Monsta X with 6 songs, you get 6 dramatically different songs. And that's really good too, because it's not really, again, for some groups, especially lesser groups, less popular groups, it's not really something that happens so frequently where you get 5 brand new songs that you've never heard before that sound different than anything else than the others on the album. So that's really, really great. The for this one specifically, because that's just kind of in general with the group, but it definitely does apply to this album. But for this album specifically, the promotion track is pretty good. It's not really my favorite that they have ever released, but I mean, I can't complain. It's a good song and definitely something that I've enjoyed listening to. The rest of the album though, for me, is much, much, much better. You've got the songs they have done, where you've got the intensity and you've got that attitude and the swagger and you got all that stuff, and then you kind of go to these other songs where you've got some emotion and some feeling, and you slow down that intensity. It's not so intense, it's more relaxing and mellow, and you got some nice vocals and stuff like that, and that's cool. And the way that this album is arranged around that, where you start off with a vocal song, and you go to the promotion song, the vocal song, then a really intense, hard-hitting song. It alternates from song to song, and that's an interesting way to do it. And I actually really like that, because the reason why I like that is because it kind of like if you're listening to an album, right? A lot of times, like I comment, like I like to hear an album flow from a start to a finish, like a natural sort of progression where you start with something that's like, intense, and then you end with something with a ballad song. Like, K-pop songs or K-pop albums generally, do that. They start with like the pop music and then they end with a ballad song. So I generally like that kind of flow. How did you get from this first song to the end, and does it make sense? But what you can also do is do what they did with this album and flip-flop every single time that you come up with a song as part of the album, the arrangement of songs on the album. And what it does is it makes the entire listening experience like really cool. Like from once, like you go from, in one instance you're just rocking out and going crazy to this one song, and then the second song you can't do that. You just gotta like dial it down and enjoy and listen and just relax and just like bob your head and jam without going like super crazy. And I like that. It's kind of interesting. So it definitely gives you like, half the album is going to appeal to some people, the other half is going to appeal to others, and that's cool. It's like Monsta X gives you two different styles and sounds in a significant quantity on this album that anybody could get into. It's not like, they are like, we are this badass hip hop and that's all we're going to give you for this album. The album has, two different styles that is going to appeal to just about everybody. Between those two styles, this album will have music and songs for like just about everybody who listens to it, and they'll probably find a song that they actually like, which I think is, really awesome. And overall, like that's the thing. It's like Monsta X, they haven't released an album that I've thought is particularly terrible. Actually, I think that they've all been really, really great. So when it comes down to it, my final review, or my rating, I guess you can say, of how would I spend my money on this album, is like, this is definitely one that I'm going to buy. Number one, of course, you want to spend your money on, supporting good music, because of course that is a way to encourage good music or that sort of stuff to continue to get made, because it's showing the company that there is the demand and the support for it and the market, and people want to hear more. And of course, also just want to support the group too, because I like these guys. They're great. Their music is awesome. They're as a group, they're awesome. They perform all of their stuff really, really well. So they kind of deserve a bit of a reward in that way, as as far as a payday is concerned. And well, they get paid because people like me buy their stuff and buy their merchandise and buy the things that are branded as Monsta X. So that's the reason why I would buy it, because I want to like encourage this stuff to continue to get made and support the good music. Also because I want to add that to my collection, to my growing collection of albums that I have in the background. So there you go. That is my album review for this Monsta X album. Like I said, it's lovely. It's great. It's got a little bit of everything for, a bunch of people. And I'm sure that if you have already listened to it, you probably love it. So if you've listened to it already, let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't already, then go ahead and listen to it, and then let me know what you think of it down in the comment box below. Or you can let me know what you think and stuff on social media, through Twitter or Facebook. I've got links to those profiles and a bunch more in the description box below. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Music video. Because they're gonna be like, I want to know what happens next, if that makes any sense. It's not particularly the main reason why I would come back for it, because I just like Monsta X in general, so I would just no matter what. But that's the reason why some people would, I think. And for me, this isn't